I asked my viewers to give me their Clash Royale decks, and I'm going to be rating them on a scale from 1 to 10. All right, so here is the Google Drive folder that everyone has submitted their decks to. There's quite a few here. All right, so the very first deck we have right here was submitted by Gabriel. It is a 3.9 Elixir Ram Rider deck. It's a very interesting deck looking at it. A lot of unconventional elements that I normally wouldn't see in a Ram Rider deck. Like there's no Mega Knight, no Bandit, but that's fine. He's using what he has. I think this is pretty solid. I would give it, for me, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It looks decent. All right, next up we have Adrian Almada Roa, a interesting variant of a Hog Cycle deck, it looks like. So we got the Hog Rider paired with the Goblin Barrel for win conditions. We have the Princess, which is solid. Considering your other card levels, I'd assume you're level 7, you're definitely lower. So having the Princess is definitely a valuable asset in your deck for sure. The only thing I would change, I don't think you need Baby Dragon and Skeleton Dragons. I would personally do a spell in place of Skeleton Dragons, some sort of small spell. Since you have Hog Rider, you have the option to unlock Zap. So I'd use Zap or even Arrows. I think Arrows would actually be better here. Overall, it's not a bad deck though, especially I'd assume you're somewhere around Arena 5, Arena 6, something like that. Where you are, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. It's a solid deck for sure. All right, next deck we have Ella. It's an interesting Wall Breaker cycle deck. Very interesting. I like the defensive elements in the deck. Inferno Dragon, Hunter, Witch Lumberjack, those can all be really solid on defense. The only thing I don't like about this deck, your wall breakers are your only win condition. I don't think that's really reliable enough. Maybe you're banking on the fact that you'll get an Inferno Dragon lock or a Lumberjack connection or stuff like that, but I would add in something to pair with the wall breaker. But I'd personally rate this a 5.5 out of 10. Solid on defense, but it lacks offensive potential. All right, from Elias Calivas, Hog Queen Cycle with Bomb Tower. This is going to be a very biased rating because I do not like playing against Hog Cycle. Based on effectiveness, I would give this deck an 8 out of 10. It's a good deck, but for me personally, looking at this makes me sad. For me personally, 2 out of 10. Whoa. Okay, we have AUQ with a very, very interesting deck. This is so far the most interesting deck that I have looked at. Maybe you have success with it. And if you have success with it, then okay, good for you. But looking at it, I don't know how you can have success with it.
Oh my God!
There are a lot of better options than the Electro Dragon here. And then Goblin Gang isn't that great right now. I'll be honest. This is gonna be a 3 out of 10 from me. All right, next up we have Clash King. So I could see this deck synergizing well. You know, they log back the Dark Goblin or the Rascals. You play a Goblin Drill, and they can't log back any of that. So it definitely synergizes well. Definitely has a lot of solid defensive elements. Tesla is a building. Dark Goblin and Tesla can do air defense as well. So honestly, I'm gonna give this deck an 8.5 out of 10. It would be really annoying to play against, but it definitely has a lot of aspects that work well together. All right, now we have Darman Respect. Ooh, what a deck we have here. We have the first Electro Giant deck, and it's Electro Giant with Rage, Goblin Barrel, Inferno Dragon. Wow. Very interesting deck. In certain scenarios, I could see it being effective, but I can also see this being easily counterable, depending on the deck. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. All right, next up we have Riley90 Create, who has a Royal Giant double Prince deck. Honestly, this is pretty solid. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. It's original and it's solid as well. 9 out of 10 for creativity and for effectiveness. Next up, we have Ryan Johnston, a Mega Knight Royal Hogs deck. All right, this deck looks solid for sure. I assume you do most of your work in double elixir because it's 4.1. Tesla, Hunter, and Mini Pekka. They're all good for defense. Hunter and Tesla for air defense is solid. This is a solid deck though. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. All right, we got Leoclements with another bait deck. Not too much to say that hasn't already been said. Bait decks are solid. 7 out of 10 for effectiveness. 2 out of 10 for annoyance. Dazir Hercules coming in with a very creative deck. The cards in this deck go well with each other for the most part, right? Except for 2, the Lightning and the Firecracker. In terms of effectiveness, I'd give it a 5. Cash Prado with a Mega Knight Miner deck here. Very intriguing. You don't see a lot of Minion Horde. Honestly, this one in its current state isn't bad. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. In my mind, it can work. Whoa, very interesting deck. Giant Skeleton Graveyard, Skeleton King. In my brain, I can see the effectiveness of this deck, but I also see a lot of things lacking. I don't think you need the Sparky. I think Giant Skeleton Graveyard and Skeleton King are enough. What I would do, instead of Sparky, throw in a poison. In its current state, though, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's unique. I'll give it that. We have Timothy June with the Golden Knight Bridge Spam deck. Golden Knight is great. E-Barbs are great. Cannon Card is great. This deck is a 9 out of 10. I would hate to play against this deck. If you play this right, this deck works. Yes! Inferno Gaming, I love you so much. This is the exact deck that I play, except I have Queen instead of Arrows and Fly Machine instead of Inferno Drag. 10 out of 10. Absolutely beautiful. Whoa. Coming at you with the Pekka Mega Knight deck. Wow. Okay. So if you're playing Pekka and Mega Knight, you don't need a Knight. I'd put something else in there that can do air defense. A cannon's like the worst building. I don't think you need that. Ah! Ow! Daniel Kips coming at you with the 2.9 Giant Cycle. With the Earthquake as well. This is rough. For effectiveness, I give this an 8 out of 10. For annoyance, it's like a negative 69. Bro has 1,000 gems too. That's crazy. I was vibing. I was having a good time. You know, it has Night Witch. Night Witch is my favorite card. 10 out of 10. Oh, this is one of my mods. Lineal. So it's 2.6, except it's not, because it's 3.1. I give this a 7.5. Ooh, this looks fun. This deck is my kind of deck. Whoever submitted this, 10 out of 10. This is the deck I might actually try. Whoa. Ooh. Hold on a second. I think you've done something here. First of all, you have the Strombolis. Absolutely incredible. You have the Furnace Skeleton Army and Skeleton Barrel to go with the Skeleton King. And then a Mega Knight. This is a good deck. I give this a 9 out of 10. Only suggestion I'd make is Goblin Hut instead of Furnace. Ascendra, one of my longtime viewers, coming at us with the Golem Graveyard. But it's interesting because it's 3.5 elixir. I assume that this deck, for the most part, is just pure offense and that you're going to be playing minimal defense. A Skeleton King here could be cool. Make it a little more expensive. Instead of Fire Spirit, use a Skelly King. Hold on. I know exactly who submitted this. I know exactly who submitted this. CR Leaks. This deck is unbeatable. Nothing is beating Goku. Nothing is beating Goku with the drip. The 4 elixir champion, the best card in Clash Royale history. And then we also have the battle machine. Nothing is beating this. This is the best deck of the entire stream. There is nothing beating this. Everyone else who submitted their deck, it's not going to get a higher rating than this. It's not. This is unbeatable. Infinity out of 10. We need Goku in Clash Royale. Some of these decks were absolutely insane. I did all of these deck ratings during a live stream on this channel, so if you don't want to miss out on future events like this, then be sure to turn on notifications. But that's going to be it for this video, and be sure to leave a like for Goku in Clash Royale.